Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me today on Sigma Sunday. I wanted to ask you a question and have you think about it for just a second. How does it feel for you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur and a leader? How does it feel when you have to end things? Whether it's a relationship in business, whether it's a relationship in real life, whether it's firing or letting go of somebody, or maybe even ending a contract. What feelings come up for you or thoughts? My name is Rebecca Sonnenberg. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I am here to see if I can help you with my cat make you a better leader, better business owner, and better entrepreneur. So the reason that I'm asking this question today is I was reading this book right here called Necessary Endings by Dr. Cloud. And it's actually really, really interesting because I know this will come a shock to anyone who has watched any of my videos or knows me. I'm a bit of a control freak. I know, grasp your pearls is shocking, but I am. So for me, endings can be really difficult because I make it very personal and I make it very much about like, I'm not good enough or I didn't do a good enough job as a leader or as a business owner. So this book was really nice because he talks a lot about how much endings are necessary. Like you can't go through life and not end things. And one of the things that he does a really great job about is giving like the analogy of having like a rose garden and how if anybody's ever had roses, you know that you have to prune them. You have to constantly be clipping them. And if you don't, then it just takes all the nutrients, not just from that rose bush, but typically from the other ones close by. So I'm going to read this one little passage right here. He says, "It's vital to consider these questions because everything that follows is built on the premise that pruning is necessary, natural, and beneficial for everything and anything that is alive. We need it developmentally, and we need it in relationships and in business. We need it when things are going well and when things are not going well. It's a natural part of life, seasons, and a requirement for growth." So I think when I read that and I could think about that, that made it feel a lot less crappy, maybe by a little bit, but still. I know personally for me, and I know for a lot of women in business, we have a tendency to make things much more emotional, which can be a detriment, realistically. I am very blessed to have a husband who constantly is reminding me, like, take the personal out of it, take the emotional out of it, it's just business. And so it really helps to also have this book that's kind of reminding you that, again, this is just business. Like, you have to do these things. If you have an employee, or let's say you are even in a partnership with somebody in a business and they're sucking you dry or they're not doing what they're supposed to do, you have to prune that. You have to clip that out of your business and your life, because otherwise, how will you succeed? It will take your nutrients. It will take everything that it can. And I think it's interesting the amount of people I've heard talk about, yeah, I went into business with so-and-so, and then a year in, we ended up hating each other. One of us had to take the other to court to buy each other out. And it's so interesting because it seems like it happens more often than not that partnerships really, really struggle. And, you know, I can think about like even just being a business owner and having to fire people. Not my favorite thing to do. Don't love it at all. Even as long as I've been doing this, it still makes me sick to my stomach. I could still think of people we've had to let go, and it still tugs at my heart. But when I really sit down and I take the personal out of it and I look at it and I say, you know, they just weren't a good fit. And I'm really hopeful that because I was able to end that and make sure that they went about their lives, hopefully somewhere that was a better fit for them, and then put somebody in their place for us who was a better fit, that all in all, that's exactly what pruning your rose bushes is like. You're getting rid of the things that are not necessary anymore and moving in the things that are. And when we can look at it like that, I think sometimes that can be a little helpful. I think the other advice that I would always give is the same way I ask my clients to look at things like, you can really, really love somebody and really hate the way they treat you. Those can both exist. But because they're so different, it's really hard sometimes for that to sit in our minds and be allowed because of the dichotomy, right? It's so polar opposites. And so you can really, really like an employee. They can be somebody that's been with your company a couple of years maybe. And you're like, I really like them, but man, they're a pain in the ass otherwise. Or man, everybody really has to pull weight to kind of fix that and cover that up. when that kind of stuff happens, you have to think too, just not about the difficult employee. So not even just about, when you're pruning your rose bush, or not just like cutting off the dead pieces of roses that are no longer there to give nutrients. You have to do that so that the new upcoming buds can grow. Because when you have somebody in your business who is sucking the life out of everyone, and you as the business owner are allowing that, how do you think your rose is going to grow? Your little buds are like, screw it, what's the point? You're going to allow this, and you're not doing anything about it, and that's status quo. Why would I do anything more than that? Because this one's just sucking all the nutrients, and I'm just over here trying to grow, and you're the one that's letting that happen. So I'm hopeful that some of that will kind of just give you a different way to like look at things, that having to let contracts go, having to let partnerships go, although it's really uncomfortable, doesn't feel great. I don't know if it ever gets easier. If it does, please let me know, because I would love to know when that ship is coming in. But until then, here we are with, necessary endings. And I think if we can look at endings as not necessarily such a bad thing, but realistically it's a door closing, so that hopefully you can open a door that's so much more beneficial for so many other people. And trying to remember that sometimes letting go of things puts them in a position to be somewhere that hopefully fits them better. And again, put somebody in their spot that fits you even better. And that's what helps your business grow. That's what helps things continue to move on. So I hope you guys check out this book, Necessary Endings. Phenomenal. Really enjoyed it. And if you guys have any recommendations, please let me know. I love to go down the rabbit hole of books. And I hope some of this stuff was helpful. Please like and share our page, and please subscribe. And as always, please feel free to leave comments or questions. I love the stuff that you guys leave, so thank you. And let me know if this helped out. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Hope you have a wonderful Sigma Sunday.